Today we are installing our first, and I would argue, most safety conscious item on our brand new Alliance Delta. Welcome back to Millers in Motion, and we are here still in Elkhart at the Alliance RV factory picking up our brand new Alliance Delta. Thank you so much for the team here. They've been absolutely amazing. But before we hit the road back to Texas to meet up with Lauren, there's two important, huge safety things that we are big proponents of doing before you really ever move the RV of any distance. One of those is a tire pressure monitoring system, or TPMS is how I'm going to refer to it the rest of this video. The other is a backup camera. Now, there's arguments to be made that you don't have to have a backup camera. I like having one because, especially with a new RV, you don't know, like, just changing lanes is a thing, right? So if I can look in my right mirror and see somebody back there and then reference that with a camera in the back and I know I'm clear or not, it's just so much easier, and it takes a lot of the stress out of changing lanes, exiting, turning, that kind of stuff. For these two systems, we are actually decreasing to one. Previously, we had a backup camera and then we had a TPMS. Now, HaloView has come out with the BT7, they call it the Bite Tango 7, not just backup camera, but TPMS integrated. This video is not sponsored by HaloView, but they did send us that for free to test out. So, why am I excited about this? Our previous camera was a HaloView, and it worked flawlessly. It's one of my favorite camera systems I've ever had. And then our previous TPMS was a separate standalone system. Now that we're not full-timing and we're just weekend warriors, the idea of having everything integrated to one screen that I can take up and down a little easier in the truck sounds super appealing because, you know, like 60% of the time now, I don't need to have that stuff hooked up anymore like I did permanently on the previous equipment. So let's talk a little bit about this as we unbox it. All right, so let's get into this HaloView BT7 TPMS edition. So what you get with the box, and I will say that there is one other piece that they sent, but when you open it up, you obviously have manuals that I will maybe read at some point. Right out of the gates, you have your screen, monitor, all of the good things. It's a good size. Sometimes with HaloView, these can get really big, or they're the mirrors. And so this is actually a really nice size. So it's big enough you can see, but not like ridiculously big. You have sensors. We have 4 because the Delta has 4 tires. I may expand that at some point to include the truck, but for now, that's what we're going to do. You have a couple of different mounts. So you have a suction mount, and then you have a more permanent stickium mount that you can put something down and kind of make that be permanent. So this, and when I say this, there's actually 2 of them in here just in case you need them. So these are signal boosters. I believe these are specifically for the TPMS sensors. I don't know if it also extends the video because HaloView, so our Delta is 30 feet long, our truck's about 22 feet long, so we're right around that like 45, 50 foot mark, and they sent me a booster extender, kind of like what we had on the Valor, for the camera. So I'm assuming that these are specifically for the TPMS. Not sure that I need both of them, but we'll see. They come with little alligator clamps, and then you put that over the side. So we'll show you where we're going to install at least one of these and go from there. And then if I need to do both of them, we'll do both of them. And then the piece de la resistance. So this is the big guy. So this is the actual camera itself. Spot for the antenna on the side. Pre-done for wiring. And then below this first one, you're going to have the different kinds of wire connections. So they provide you with literally almost everything you need to do this, regardless of what your RV is. Alliance just runs pre-wires, which means it's probably going to be these guys right here, because I can just splice into this. Now, with that also being said, there is the extender splitter, and then like if you have a Furrion Pre, you have that as well. In addition to that, you also get a few other things. So batteries for your TPMS sensors. They give you a small memory card because this will actually record, so you can add a front-facing camera, side cams, all kinds of stuff. This is the USB charger for your screen. handful of zip ties, tools, washers, things you need to do the install. Screws, same thing for the install. And then you have some cloths, cleaning cloths, kind of wipes, those kind of things if you're going to install it. These look like some butt end connectors, so they really give you everything you need here. And then, but wait, there's more. So they started doing this, which is amazing. This is a little rubber gasket. So when you go to install the camera, what you do is you actually put this on, and then this sits, the camera, well, once you feed the wires through it, will sit right there. So it gives it a nice rubber seal around the RV. So that should help deter any water. I would still recommend putting caulk, silicone sealant or caulk around it, just to kind of prevent it. And then last but not least, a different way of charging your TPMS, and that is a cigarette lighter. In addition to that, you have a couple of antennas. The longest one's for your camera, and the other two are for your monitor section. So, all right, how are we going to tackle this? Well, for starters, I am going to plug in everything here, make sure it powers up, the camera syncs up before I go drill any holes in the back of the RV and anything else. And then we'll probably go ahead and do the TPMS sensors first because they're a little easier, and I would argue that's a slightly more important side of the safety before we start to roll back to Texas. I will be talking about this in transit a little bit too, so I'll tow the first day with them, and then when we get to our destination, I'll kind of talk about how it operated on its first tow with TPMS and the camera. So let's get this stuff organized and get to installing. Okay, well, the very first thing we have to do is next to the ladder, you see that little dot on the back of the Delta. So we actually need to get that out and get the wires out. Also, it's been raining here, and we should be in the clear now, so not as concerned about that. But we're going to get that out, get the wires, figure out how we're going to connect it, and then go through all of that. Okay, so if you have a RV that is pre-wired for a Furrion camera, all you're going to have to do is plug into that Furrion connection. That's pretty much it. Alliance, because they want you to have more versatility, they do raw wires. So up there, I've already separated the ground and the hot lines, and I've stripped them back. And so what we're going to do, is we're going to take this adapter, get it wired in, and then, because you have to do this systematically because there's this rubber grommet, right? And so I want to get this on first, and then we're probably going to go ahead and get this rubber grommet on, and then go ahead and attach the camera. Between using the inside of the RV and this kind of hollow space here, that should be enough room to house all the spare wires, if you may. So let's get this guy wired in. All right, it's periodically getting darker and colder again. The sun came out for like 5 seconds, but we are done. We've got a rubber grommet up there. So now is the moment of truth where I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to essentially drill it into the side of the RV. Not worried about that at all. No, honestly, I'm not. We've done it before. So just one thing I will tell you is, even though it comes with rubber grommets, all this stuff, you really want to make sure and seal it still. I've got some silicone that I brought with me to get that back in. So here we go. All right. So we are now moving on to the TPMS. Full disclosure, I did one just to make sure I was doing it right. You will need a battery bank for this because you're going to have to use a cord so that you can power your monitor. This is about as easy as it comes. So you have your little TPMS sensors. You screw it off. They include the little batteries with it. So you literally just slide the battery in there. They don't come installed because they don't want to die, because who knows how long they're going to be in there until you use them. Once you have that done and locked in, you very simply remove the cap, which I already did, and then you just screw this into your tire. It's right there. Now, on the screen, if you can see it, there's trailer. I already did the passenger side right one, so now I'm doing passenger tire 2. You literally click on it, it highlights it yellow. Right down here, it says auto learn. As long as you're sitting right here, you click auto learn, you wait for it, you accidentally push the wrong button. Okay, well, this is a good example, because if for some reason it's not wanting to work, you can do the manual ID, which is just on the outside. So Ryan from the future here. So 2 things that you should know. One, for some reason, I lost some footage in this video, so we're about to skip a little bit forward into the review and after I've used it. 2, I also was starting to get a little frustrated what you just saw, and that's because I didn't read the manual. It was cold, starting to rain, and I had hit my limit. So do me a favor, when you're installing this, read the manual. It's actually not super hard. I made this way more difficult than I needed to because I didn't read the manual. So let's fast forward to see how this works in action. All right, we have made it back to North Texas. Yeah. She's tucked away in her spot for now, but let's talk a little bit about the camera and some of the things that we liked and maybe disliked on the drive back. Okay, so I didn't get a chance to showcase this all that well, but you can see here the camera is actually on. That's a white fence in the background, and then up there in the top right-hand corner, get my fingers out of the way, that's where the TPMS is actually located. So it overlays. Now, you can click on it, and it'll pull up a full view. As you can see there, we don't necessarily have the truck installed yet. I don't have enough sensors for all that, but you can individually look at certain things, set parameters, all kinds of different stuff. You can actually look at different versions of it. You can do all kinds of things. So I actually really liked how that worked. I like that I only have one screen. I've moved it around a couple times on the windshield. I think I'm going to land on it right there. It's going to block the GoPro view, but I can put that somewhere else, I guess. But I really liked having it all in one screen. And the nice part is, because now that we're not full timing, I can just simply take that down and leave it in the truck or like the trailer, for instance, and that way it's not up in my view at all times. So that's kind of nice. I will tell you, in the setup process, when you are going through that, you may want to just take your time, is what I'm trying to say. Do it per the manual. I got it going a little too fast, got a little frustrated. I thought I had just cleared one of the sensors. Apparently I cleared everything. So I had to repair the camera and all of that. So take your time on the install, but all in all, I really like it. And as far as the camera goes, with the HaloView, they have the best connectivity and quality that I've seen. Plus, one of the other things that I really like about it is they actually allow you to record. Now, if you had a front-facing camera, which you can get, you can record not only like dash cam footage, but if you have side cams, you can record it all. And so it always kind of helps, just in case there's ever an issue, having that backup of a dash cam and recording all of your cameras would be a big help. So as far as us, we absolutely so far love our Alliance Delta. And by we, I mean me. Lauren's still never actually seen it. She'll get to see it tomorrow, though, because she's coming back here for a little bit of a show around the barn. So we have some fun. We have a lot of fun coming up, so stay tuned. We're going to go meet up with some friends in California and go on a little trip with them. You may know them, and we're going to hang out with them, and then we're coming back and we're going to get settled into our new house and start taking this beautiful little travel trailer out for some trips. Plus, I have a lot more that I want to install on this rig, including eventually a solar system. You know, we'll talk about suspension, all that stuff. We're formulating all the ideas with all of our friends in the RV industry, like MoreRide. Yeah, you name it, all the good things. So I'm back. Let's go buy a house. Bye, Mom.